Hi guys, back again. We have a T-962A infrared, well they call it an IC heater. It's just a small oven with a pull-out drawer, but whereas on my lashed up equipment it was all down to me, this one will actually follow the correct profile for reflowing and reballing and that sort of thing. So I thought we'd have a quick look, see what we get. Again, this is another eBay purchase that supplied from the UK, so we avoid the shipping problems. Just trying to get this on the camera. I'm going to have to tip this out if possible. Just some user instructions and not much else. You'll notice this isn't as anywhere near as nicely packed as the Rygo equipment from earlier. I hope that's not how they're supplying that in the UK. Yes, that obviously is how they're supplying it. As everyone knows, that is illegal. You must supply equipment like this with the proper UK plug. They are not allowed to supply it with a Euro plug like that. Aha! But I didn't see that. An adapter has obviously fallen out the box, which I didn't see, and I would trust that about as far as I can, well, not as far as I could throw it, because that's probably the length of the garden. But yeah, look, the cheeky sods, they've got to put their own CE marking on it. That is utter tat, and of course is not going to be used by me. But that does not, sending something like that does not allow this to comply with UK regulations. That is just absolute rubbish, and they must still have supplied the correct cable. But it's no huge surprise. Probably should have unwrapped these bits before the Rygo, because I'm sure the quality is going to be not so good. rubbish out of the way. Just going to give you a closer look at this. You can see the size of the drawer. I'll just measure it, but I don't think I've got a tape here. About 11.5 deep and about 11.5, yeah, it's about 11.5 square. You can see the profile that it should follow. From the function keys, I'm assuming it has more than one profile. We'll have a quick look in the instructions, but I'm not sure that's going to help very much. Well, there are the instructions, and they are in English, so that is quite handy. We've got the sizes here. 300 by 320 mil is the maximum soldering area. It says 8 kinds of temperature parameter waves, blah 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 blah. Cooling fan, fully automatic. Don't know whether we'll have much of a description of the profiles. I think that will be for a later. Oh, in fact, yeah, you can see the various profiles for lead-free solder, leaded solder. So this actually might be, or this is in Chinese and English, so yeah, I'll have a read through those later on, so not to bore you. I'll find a UK lead and we'll just plug this in and okay, that's now plugged in. Just trying to get rid of the plastic from the handle, which looks like it's some cheap kitchen door handle from China. They've left the protection in place and then screwed it into place, so there is a little glass window there for you to look at. I don't suppose it's lit inside, obviously. There is a protective cover, I think, on this display. Right, that's it. Just going to fire this up and see what we get. Not sure if that's just powering up or what it's doing at the moment. Let's have a look. Press S button for the main menu. Okay. Oh, I was going to say that should say menu, but it's actually manual execute. Temperature wave auto execute. Temperature wave select, and yeah, F4 in Chinese. Press F4 button, select English menu. Okay, so yeah, that is just saying press here to select Chinese. In the main menu, press the F3 button selection for the different temperature waves So we can press F3 here. Okay, here we go. So we have the temperature along, the time scale along the bottom, and the temperature ramp. In this case it's getting up to about 250. Looks like you can probably edit the name. Don't know how you scroll through. Let's have another look. You can actually define all these points yourself. So when you're in the edit, here we go. That goes backwards and forwards through the waveforms. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not sure what you'd use that for. It's a very low temperature. 6, 7, and 8, and back to 1. Yeah, you can select the solder type, solder temperature, the time. I'm not quite sure what press F2 button by handcraft operation. I assume it means to do it all manually. I'm just going to read the operating instructions. Lightly puts the product, which will be processed, in the drawer or of the oven of the stage. Close drawer and press F1 switch. Let's just get back to the main menu if we can. Alright. Okay, that says the lamp is on, so that's obviously heating up. We can press S to stop. So here we have the time in seconds and the temperature, and I'm not quite sure why it's showing two temperatures there. Okay, what it's doing here, if you see, it's just plotting, looks like it's plotting the temperature points to closely as possible follow the preset pattern. I don't know whether you can see here the tiny little plus symbols that are being added. Yeah, so one is the required temperature and one is the actual process temperature. I was going to say I can't smell any heat or burning yet, but I absolutely can now. There is no heat coming from it. Obviously it's warming up inside. Now it says that you can press S to stop the process and force it to cool down. I'm not going to do that. I obviously want to see this following the preset stages. I'm guessing that the top figure is the set temperature and the bottom one is the process temperature, but hopefully it will tell us that in the instructions here. Actually, possibly not. They're a bit basic, but I'm sure we'll work it out. So we're currently going into a short soak period here. Seems to be following the graph quite closely. I think we'll let this run actually, the full period. Obviously you can see hopefully the green lamp flashing from when heat's being applied, because we're in this soak period here. It's not being the lamp's not on too much. As soon as we get to this 2.5–3 minute marker, this is going to start ramping it up again. I assume there's no cutout if the door is opened. Nope. Obviously you don't want that open at all. The glass just below is just beginning to get warm to the touch, but no big problem. Yeah, that's quite a nice clear glass viewpoint. You could shine a light through there quite easily and just watch the process going on. Hopefully you can see from the temperatures that it is actually quite closely matching what we want it to do. So far that's looking good. I'm hoping that we will be able to use this for reballing purposes. Yeah, you see the process temperature is just a fraction above the set value at the moment. There we go, and it's back. Yeah, it's keeping it within a few degrees. Going up now, you see the green light is on. That glass window is now a bit too hot to touch. Now, I think when this finishes it will shut down automatically and a warning buzzer will go off. I don't know why these people don't get somebody with a good understanding of English to write the manuals. Oh dear. Okay, so up to 213 now, again within 3 or 4 degrees. Well, not now, it's ramped up quite quickly to 218, 219, 220, and it's actually at 211. Again, the unit is not, well, there's a bit of heat coming out the back now. I think there must be another larger fan there. There's a small one on the side here. Just show you that. Small fan here, probably keeping the electronics and the display cool. Again, oops, you've got some light there. Quite accurately following the profile. Be interesting to see how it achieves this cool down profile. Yep, it's coming down now. There are obviously no connections to the outside world on this. You cannot connect it to the laptop or anything like that, or control it through the PC, unlike the 6500 rework station that we're going to be looking at probably tomorrow now. That you can link to your laptop and adjust profiles and things like that. Well, it's following that slope quite accurately. Of course, there's no real way to check that this is actually accurate other than sling a thermocouple inside, and you can do that because there's a slight gap on the door. You can hear that fan now has come on. It seems to be sucking in actually rather than blowing out. Yeah, you can see the set temperature is lower than the process temperature, so that fan is kicking in and out just to bring that temperature down. And I think the heat is actually being blown out the bottom on the left hand side. I can feel the heat on the left with my hand, and that fan is definitely sucking in. So that's how it's achieving that cool down ramp. I've got to say I'm pretty impressed with this actually. I was not convinced this was going to be very good at all, but it's pretty accurately followed that profile. Don't know whether I said at the start of the video, but this was another eBay purchase, but shipped from the UK again, like everything else I've bought over the last few weeks, just to avoid those import duties, which can amount up to quite a bit. And if you've purchased it from the UK, hopefully any issues warranty wise will be dealt with by returning it somewhere in the UK and another one being shipped out. Again, set is about 10 degrees different to the process value, and that's why that fan's kicking in. Just feeding all around the unit. There's not really any heat apart from the front door now, which has got very hot, and the heat from underneath where this fan's extracting the well, it's blowing in and it's just coming out of vents underneath, I suspect. Again, following it pretty closely. I expect there's some lag between these two figures anyway. That's taken what, 7 minutes nearly. Yeah, we're at 7 minutes now. Fans on, it's obviously struggling to keep that temperature down to the 65 that's required, or 4 now. We're about 20 degrees out. And that's the end of the profile. Fans on full now. I've turned that off because I don't want that on the video. But you would think now you would want that fan going all the time. But I guess you just open the drawer and let it cool down. That seems to have pretty effectively cooled that down. I can, it's obviously really hot still, but I can touch it without getting burnt. Yeah, actually you can see the fan. I don't know whether this is going to be visible on film, but you can see the fan and outside. Possibly, if you can see there. No, you can just see, if I can get this on the, just see the fan slowing to a stop at the back there, and through the back of it you can see the light from outside. So I can see silver foil shielding along the sides and the top of that. Sorry, just faffing around with the tripod. So yes, that seems like quite a good piece of equipment. Okay, it's not going to be perfect, but for that price, if it does allow me to do some reballing, etc. Sorry, we've got the light on there again. It's just recording the slowdown in the temperature. Yeah, I don't know how you get that, force that fan on. Perhaps you can't, even if you want to. It only comes on at the end of the profile. So yeah, that looks pretty handy. Tech168.China CN. Let's see what we can do with it in the future. Hopefully do some reballing with those stencils that you've seen me use before. Not very successfully, but hopefully with this and following the correct profile we'll have some better results. Okay, catch you later.